This one is from Parmeshwari from Tamil Nadu. She has quoted me. Values are how you lost yourself, and clarity is how you can gain yourself. She says, I was taught values by parents and teachers in childhood. Values like non-violence, truth, etc. The values I cherished made my personality. I have faith in them. I believe that God is in all beings, so I don't hurt them at least. I have been teaching children from 8 to 13 years culture and values. So Acharyaji, I don't understand you. You say values are how you lost yourself. If we don't teach values, will not kids feel licensed to do anything? Shouldn't values be taught in a young age? You say values mean social conditioning. I am confused. Please give me clarity. Parmeshwari, let's begin with your example. You say God is in all beings, so you don't hurt them. But do all beings take themselves as God? The being is taking himself as definitely something other than God. And you are obliging him. You are assisting him take himself whatever he is taking himself as. Are you in the cause of God? Not hurting someone is a very commonly taught value. But have you ever wondered who is it who is in danger of being hurt, and who is it who is to not to be hurt? You are being taught, don't hurt that fellow. Who is that fellow who is vulnerable to hurt? Who is he? Is he the one established in truth? Is he the innocent one? Who gets hurt? Only that gets hurt which is weak and fragile. Truth never gets hurt. You cannot hurt the man of truth. Often, hurt is the only way you can prove to someone that he is not living in the truth. A fellow is carrying a wound in the hand but refusing to acknowledge it. It's an internal wound, not visible on the surface, and therefore he is able to refuse the wound. He is taken to the doctor, and the doctor says, son, you have a problem. Inside there is something festering. And he says, no, I am just all right. And the doctor tries to show him reports. But he is not wise enough to comprehend the reports. What is the only way to convince this fellow that he is in need of treatment? The doctor touches him and asks him, something happens, something happening, is it paining, is it paining, is it paining? And when the doctor comes to the point where there is the wound and the doctor presses that point, the fellow says, ah, hence proved. Hence proved. It must have happened with you when you were a kid. You have a stomach ache and the doctor makes you lie flat on your back and then he starts doing stuff with your belly. And then somewhere in a corner you say, ah, and the doctor says, okay, too much ice cream, now I know. You must know that you are vulnerable to hurt. And to be vulnerable to hurt is in itself a disease. It shows that you have not been living rightly. And often when you will try to help someone, at least the initial perception will be of hurt. You cannot avoid that. But yes, you can avoid hurting people out of the desire to just hurt. It's not a matter of whether you are hurting or not. It's a matter of why are you hurting and who is the one who is hurting. Hurt is neither good or bad, therefore. The intention behind the hurt, the center of that action is what must be seen. Most people hurt others because they are either ignorant or revengeful. I am ignorant, so I hurt you. I don't even know that I have hurt you. I hurt because I was ignorant. And there are others who hurt because they are revengeful. It's great if you teach these two people to not to hurt others. But if you impose a blanket ban on hurting, then you have also forbidden the surgeon from treating someone. All surgeries involve hurt. It is not possible to listen to Kabir and not feel offended at some point or the other. Only a Kabir would not be offended by Kabir. The worldly mind is going to be definitely offended by Kabir at some point. He may try to display respect, but Kabir is too sharp and too dynamic to remain just a passive recipient of your respect. He will dodge your respect and hurt you from the sides. If you teach everybody that all kind of hurt is bad, then you have closed your doors on Kabir. Which means that fundamentally only the center matters, not the action. The actor matters, not the action. But your values never tell you to look at yourself and try to see where you are coming from. When you look at yourself, then you are established in the fundamental value. And the fundamental value is realization. Instead of subscribing to the fundamental value of realization and therefore self-knowledge, we teach secondary values. And secondary values are actually not even secondary. Secondary values must be non-existent. Once you are established in the primary value, the secondary ones follow on their own, and the secondary ones are all replaceable, substitutable. Sometimes this is valuable, sometimes that is valuable, but beyond all and above all, that is valuable. That which is really valuable is never taught to be valued. Instead, secondary things are presented as extremely valuable. Don't speak loudly, display respect, brush your teeth, do your homework. I am not saying that the opposite of this must be taken up. I am not saying that kids must stop brushing their teeth, or that kids must necessarily raise their voices, or that kids must be disrespectful and disorderly. No, that's not at all my intention. But what I'm saying is that in the absence of the primary value, the secondary values mean nothing. They are just wisps floating about in an absurd vacuum. You said, Parmeshwari, always speak the truth is a value that you cherished. Here I am sitting. And a gun-wielding criminal comes to you and asks you, where is your Acharya? Tell me immediately, I want to kill him. Would you tell him the so-called truth, if at all truth can be told? Would you tell him? Your immediate answer would be, no, I will not tell the truth. But then what happened to the value that you teach to your kids? Always speak the truth. Must you speak the truth, or must you firstly value it? If you are preventing the killer from reaching me, then you are valuing the truth. Must you value the truth or speak the truth? And there is a world of difference between these two. If you value truth, then all your actions will follow from the truth. But if you speak the truth, then you may as well not value truth. And you have a ready replacement for truth, which is the speaking of truth. I don't live in truth, but I speak the truth. And what is it that you speak as truth? Somebody asks, what is the time? And you say it's accurately 12, 16, 13 seconds. I speak the truth. This is your definition of truth. How many bananas are there? 4. This fellow speaks the truth. Can truth be spoken? No. You speak that which needs to be spoken. None of the saints or prophets have ever claimed that they speak the truth. Never. Because they know that what they are saying is useful but not the truth. The truth cannot be spoken of. The truth is unutterable. You ask them, what are you talking of? They will say, we are saying something that will help you. They will not saying that we are telling the truth. Only a fool will say that I tell the truth. The realized ones say, I say that which helps you. I tell you that which takes you towards the truth, because it's not the speaking of truth. It's not the word that is important. It's your position, your location, your situation that is important. You must be abiding in truth and then say whatever you want to, because now whatever you will say will be useful. They lived in truth and then they said something. They didn't speak the truth. They said something. And that something was very, very useful because it helped others live in the truth, move into the truth. By teaching your kids, speak the truth, you are reducing truth to something very small. That does not mean that I am advocating that you teach your kids to keep lying. I must keep putting in these disclaimers because I don't know what the interpretation might be. It's not about speaking the truth or speaking in lies. It's a question of who is talking. And if the right one is talking, then the talk is going to be sacred, holy, beneficial. And if the wrong one is talking, then he might be quoting the scriptures. But all his words will only create more misery. Values are wonderful, Parameshwari. But first of all, know what to value. You must value the invaluable one. You must value that which cannot really be valued. Instead of that, you are valuing things like getting up in the morning at the right time. And someone gets up in the morning at the right time and you are so effusive in your praise. You start equating the child with Vivekananda. You see, this one gets up at the right time. And because he eats the right food, so he spends just 5 minutes in the loo. And then look at his teeth. They are all glistening white. Look at his uniform. Blemishless. And he addresses everybody so politely. He could still be a demon, Parameshwari. He could still be a demon. And the chances that he could still be a demon are no less than in the case of the child who wears a shabby uniform, does not get up in time and never brushes his teeth. There is an equal probability of the demon being present inside each of these. That's what these superficial values do. They take your attention away from the real thing. The kid is being praised because he combs his hair nicely. And what if he combs his hair nicely because he is attention crazy? Another one is being criticized because his hair are all fluff and shabby. What if he doesn't care for his hair because he doesn't care for others' opinions about his hair? But you will criticize him because it's a great value in polite, decent, middle class upbringing to look dainty. Nice kid. His face shining like the morning sun. And the mother is so proud. See, my product. And you do not know that the demon is already being nurtured. Go to the jails. You will find many there who carry great values. Some worship many times a day. Some take bath before sunrise. Some address others very politely. Some do not leave a single grain of food in their plates. And these are the values that you teach your kids. Where is God in these values? Where is God? Polish your shoes. Where is God in this? Don't be disrespectful to your teachers. Seriously, we thought the function of deep consciousness is deep and sharp inquiry. But once you have taught this politeness, you have already put a lid upon inquiry. And the fellow keeps on thinking, the young fellow, I am doing all the right things. And yet there is restlessness within. I don't look at girls, I wash my face. I don't wear used socks and underwear. I am the epitome of all virtues. And yet my life is so hollow. And the life will remain hollow because the central value is missing. I am such a thoroughbred girl. The entire mohalla is proud of me. And yet the girl is living a dry life. Because the central value is missing. And the central value is not really a matter of teaching. The central value is allowed to come forth and shine. The function of the teacher or the mother or the father is to remove the crap around the central value. The child is not born valueless. The child already carries values. At least values related to the body. Just a few days back, I was sitting somewhere. It was a public place. And I had a sandwich in my hand. And a part of that sandwich was kept on the table. And it was a low table. A dog, a big dog, was standing nearby. And he kept waiting and waiting. And the sandwich was resting like this in my hand. And here is the dog's snout. He could have just grabbed at the sandwich any moment. He didn't. Or he could have taken away at least the bit that was lying on the table. And then I put a bit of the sandwich on the earth. And now the dog quickly took it away. Finished it off in a few seconds and he was back waiting. Do you see that he is already carrying a value? We are not questioning whether the value is good, bad, this or that. But see that he already values private property. The seeds of capitalism are already there. He is saying this belongs to him because he is holding it. And as long as he is holding it, I will not take it. The moment it falls down, it is public and I can take it. So he was waiting for it to just fall down. Values are already there. It's not that the society teaches values. The child is born with values. Even the animal is born with values. God is not one of the values one is born with. One is born with a lot of other bodily, secondary values. The dog is valuing food and the dog is valuing possession and ownership. But the dog does not know to value God. Similarly, the child values a lot of things. From the very first day, the child values. Take away his toy and the child cries. Did you teach the child that the toy is valuable? The child is hungry and the child will? Did you teach the child that he must have food, he must have feed from the mother, and it's a right that he has? But look at him, he cries so self-righteously. He already knows that a fundamental right is being violated. Did you teach the Constitution to him? Did you? But he is very, very assertive about his rights. It's been 2 hours. Where is my feed? Had it been in his power, he would have filed a litigation or dialed 101 or 901. The function of parenting and teaching is to put these values aside. But that's not what you do in your normal teaching as a mother or as a parent. Instead, now see what you do. Pay attention. The child is already born corrupted with biological values. And upon that heap of biological values, you load social values as well. You aren't removing the clutter of values. Instead, you are adding to that clutter. By teaching the child, you are doing a disservice to the child. That does not mean that the child must not be taught. That only means that before you teach the child, teach yourself. Are you qualified enough to be a teacher? Are you qualified to impart values? When you are someone who values this and that more than God, are you qualified to teach values to someone? Only the one who values God more than anything or anybody else is qualified to teach a child. But unfortunately, all become teachers. Rekha, Jaya, Preeti, they are teachers. Sohan, Mohan, Hari Om, all are teachers. And they are teaching. This is the greatest injustice. And this is an exploitation of the child. Often it is better that the child remains uneducated. Because your education corrupts him further. Man is born corrupted and is corrupted further by education. Education, not only the formal one, but also the education that happens through the media, through peers, and through the family. Teach values. But first of all, know the one who is valuable, rather invaluable.